All right, y'all, it's February the 10th, 2025, and I just received letters sent to me from the State of Maryland Commission on Judicial Disabilities. Let me tell y'all something right now. I got two letters now, and one was dated back, as you see, back in January 21, 2025. And this was the 28th, 2025. And I'm just receiving them. But what I want to show y'all is this. These letters are already generated. And they just say the same thing. That this agency right here is just as corrupt as these judges and prosecutors. And what we're going to start doing now is going after the judges and the prosecutors and filing complaints and taking it all the way up to the ladder to the Bar Association to get these people disbarred. Because what they're saying is that they found nothing wrong with a judge denying me my right to a jury trial. Ain't that some shit, y'all? Even though it states it in the supreme law of this country, and the Maryland Judicial Constitution states it, that every citizen has a right, and unless you waive it. But this investigator, and as you see, it's the same person. She just as corrupt as the judges that they sit. And this is why this country is in the predicament it is now, because we have these people sitting up in office who are domestic terrorists and have waged war on the supreme law of this country. I'm gonna let y'all read. This is the judge that I filed a complaint against. These are the judges, right? And I want y'all to read what she wrote. I want y'all to read it. And this is the other judge. This lady right here, I think she has a law firm in Rockville, and she's a judge. She has a family law firm in Rockville, and she's a sitting judge also. Ain't that some shit? How you gonna get justice if you come into her law firm and then come into the courtroom where she's a domestic terrorist? Shit is fucking crazy, y'all. But what we're gonna do is, like I say, this isn't over with yet. This is what they wrote about her. The same exact shit. And the same domestic terrorist who claims to be the director and investigating counsel. So she's an attorney too. So, you know, the attorneys are wards of the court. Their first obligation is to the court. I don't care if you get a private lawyer or whatever. Their first obligation is to this corrupt court system that is taking place in here. This is the first judge. It's like saying you got raped and you got to go to the rapist for justice. And that's what's going on here. These mugs cover each other's asses. And the only way we stop this is that we start filing complaints and pushing it to the federal level and finding honest judges to preside over this. This complaint here is that the judge denied me a right to a jury trial on an illegal filming on the sidewalk. So he wanted to cover the police and the justice system's ass in Montgomery County. And these people here are doing the same thing. You know, but you gotta go through the steps. I'm not saying don't go through the steps. Go through the steps so you dot all your I's and cross all your T's. So when shit hit the fan in the federal level, they can't say, well, he didn't follow the steps. You got to go through the steps and keep all your paperwork. That's why I say keep your paperwork. I don't care what this woman is saying. I already know in Montgomery County and in these state justice systems, you rarely find a honest judge in this shit and the prosecutor. First of all, you locked me up for filming on the sidewalk, recording on the sidewalk. Okay? It's a constitutional right, the First Amendment. The Supreme Law said you can't take a constitutional right and make it into a crime. And that's what they did. And then you get these prosecutors and these corrupt judges who back these criminals up, because this is why they do it. And the only way we stop this is that we go after these corrupt judges and prosecutors. This should have been no paper, because it's not illegal to record off the sidewalk, on the sidewalk. Bunch of bullshit. We're waking up. Americans are waking up, but we're waking up slowly. So we're going to keep pushing this. As I told you, I'm not done with this. I'm not. I'm going all the way up the chain of command. And maybe when we get into the federal level of the judiciary, we'll get some honest people. We've already contacted the Department of Justice on this shit. We haven't heard them, and we've already contacted the Bar Association. We want these people disbarred. They should never be sitting as judges and lawyers over the law, because they don't know the law. They make up their own rules when they want to make them up. Okay, this is the case number. FY 25-266 and FY 25-611. You know what I'm saying? And no matter how you look at it, the supreme law is the law of the United States. And it makes it very clear that every citizen who is accused of a criminal act that holds jail time, I don't care if it's 1 day, has a right to be heard by his peers, and not one of these domestic terrorists sitting on the bench who has sold their soul for corruption. And the Maryland Judicial Constitution say the same thing. So we got two constitutions saying the same thing. But when you go sit in these courtrooms, these criminals are making law from the bench. And we got to put a stop to that. We got to start filing complaints on these individuals. Every citizen has a right to a jury trial by the supreme law of this country. And not a corrupt terrorist who has waged war on the supreme law of this country can tell you you don't. And then they make these fictitious agencies up. This is the agency, y'all, who backs these corrupt judges and prosecutors up. This is why immunity must go. And we should also separate attorneys from being wards of the court, so they can start taking care and working for the clients instead of making deals with the judges and the prosecutors. If you want to be a prosecutor, yeah, you could be a ward of the court. But when it comes down to the defendants, having a lawyer, that lawyer should never be a ward of the court. His first obligation is to the courts. So how are you going to get somebody who's already got you against the 8 ball, because his first obligation is to the court system? Come on, y'all. Time to wake up. We're waking up, but we're waking up slowly. It's the same shit that went over in England before the Civil War kicked off. And I tell people, it's going to be another civil war sooner or later in this country, because people are waking up and they're getting tired. They really are. We got the FBI, we got the Department of Justice, who is supposed to keep these individuals in check. And like I told you, we filed a complaint with them. We ain't heard nothing back. We did hear something back there. They received our complaint and that they're going to do something. But the thing is this, How do we know they're doing something if they don't contact us and let us know what they're doing? And that should be something needs to be changed also. You know, but we shall see. We're recording more. We're getting a lot of people who have filed jury trials, who were denied jury trial in Montgomery County, and we're working on it. Don't think we're not working on it. We are, and more to come. You know, the problem is we have let cowards run this country and has destroyed this country. And it's time we put this country back in order. From an old saying like Donald Trump said, trying to make America great again. And the only way we're going to make America great again is for us to start weeding out these domestic traitors and terrorists who have infiltrated our government and our judicial system. Come on, free people. Time to wake up. This organization here needs to be demolished. It needs to be torn down and rebuilt by citizens, not people who's got their hands, look at this shit here, who's got their hands in the domestic terrorist compounds and hives. And this person here, that's exactly what she is, or he is, whoever she is, you know. But as I say, here's what is written on for this judge. These are the same letters. All they do is change the names. Here's the letter for the second judge. Exactly the same shit. And that's all they do. They don't investigate shit. They cover for their asses because this is how they move up in the ranks of terrorism. Y'all stay tuned, more to come. Like I told you before, we're not just going after dirty cops. We're going after dirty lawyers, prosecutors, and judges. We're going to start filing complaints and taking it all the way up there to the Rayburn building, to Capitol Hill, and if need be, in there to Donald Trump, to the White House. We got to start cleaning out these new traitors and domestic terrorists who have waged war on the supreme law of this country. And that's the Constitution. It's the foundation of the laws in this country. And they're trying to do away with them. So y'all stand by, more to come.